Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. We had a rainy but very, very good weekend of baseball. I believe only one of our age groups got to play their actual real tournament, and that was our 15U guys. But we did get some extra games in. Bernie, your 12U guys got to play a little doubleheader against an out-of-town team, and then we did have a 13-14U little all-Bears mini tournament. That was very, very exciting. And I did want to go ahead at the beginning of the show, plug BBN After Dark. If you want to hear our extended and detailed thoughts about this weekend, BBN After Dark is the place to hear it, because obviously with the new shortened BBN format, we're not going to be able to go very in-depth. So go ahead and check that out on YouTube or Spotify. But let's go ahead and jump right into this 15U Floyd Championship run. Like I said, only one of our ages actually got to play a real tournament. It was 15U Floyd, and they took care of business. A undefeated weekend. And Bernie, I want to go ahead and start with the pitching side of things, because these guys did not allow an earned run all tournament long. It was unbelievable seeing these guys, the entire staff, take the mound. Our Cy Young, a rookie, a completely mix of guys that was really, really impressive. Bernie, what did you see from this pitching staff? I thought it was a really impressive outing from these guys.
Yeah, like you said, 2 weeks off didn't matter to them. They came back. Willer at Driscoll, the new Gunnar Henderson kid, and then, of course, our Cy Young Logan Eckert. All four of them come in. They all shoved, and they all had a very good weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive. You think of this 15U Floyd squad as a dominant hitting team. We've talked about the lineup over and over and over again. So for them to not even rely on the lineup, in fact, they won their championship game 2-0, so they didn't even have to rely on the bats. But I do want to touch on the bats, because a couple guys had very nice weekends, including a guy who looks like he's maybe trending back toward MVP level form, and that is Landon Nickerson. This guy was very, very good all spring long, but I don't necessarily think he was MVP caliber. 2 home runs over the fence this weekend was very, very impressive, and Andrew Willeret as well had 4 doubles. I thought both those guys did really well, but Bernie, what were your thoughts on the 15U Floyd offense?
Yeah, Landon Nickerson, of course, homers twice. I think we all know this guy is one of the top hitters around in the Bears. He had a great summer season, great spring-summer season, but maybe not quite Landon Nickerson's season. We expect him to be maybe the best hitter in the Bears, and I think we could see that form come back. And then Willeret, our MVP from last fall, I believe, comes back. Looks like he's back in prime form with 4 doubles.
Yeah, I thought it was a great weekend for both of them, and with Jack Dalton kind of moving back to that 16U Dalton squad, I think these are the 2 guys you look to really step up and be the MVP caliber hitters. So I thought a great start to both of their seasons. Speaking of 15U Floyd, let's get into our rookie first impression segment. We've got a couple rookies. Obviously, not near enough sample to really get a ton from these guys. I think all of them took maybe 6 at-bats at the most. A lot of them only got a couple at-bats, but we did want to talk about the first impressions, and let's go ahead and start with Gunnar Wilson. This was the guy we talked about, the rookie for 15U Floyd. He was the only rookie to debut on that 15U Floyd team. He threw a 0 earned run, 4 innings pitched, 8K outing in his first career start with the Bears. Thought it was a very impressive outing. Bernie, he also went 3 for 6 at the plate. What did you think in your first look at Gunnar Wilson?
Yeah. Of course, I actually got to see this kid play yet, at least live. But just looking from the box score in his first pitching out, he goes 4 innings, right? 5 walks, so maybe a little bit not honed in, maybe a little nervous. But then the 8 Ks, he could throw multiple pitches for strikes. Looks like the stuff is all the way there. Maybe a little nervous the first weekend.
Yeah, I was really impressed by his ability to throw his secondary pitches in the strike zone. Like you said, Bernie, I think we can kind of chalk those 5 walks up to maybe a little nervous his first outing, but the 8Ks definitely shows you the upside. Another rookie that debuted in our All-Bears 13-14U tournament was Jack Kester. He was playing with the Bell guys, and he hit an absolute shot. I can definitely say that Jack Kester had the furthest hit ball for a Bear rookie this past weekend. He 2-hopped the fence out at Pacific. Really, really impressive shot. He also made some nice plays on defense. But, Bernie, when you see this guy walk on the field, he's big, he's strong, he's fast, and I thought a very nice first impression for Jack Kester. But what did you think, Bernie? I know you got to catch him a little bit, or at least got to look at his stats.
Yeah. I saw this guy on Thursday, ran through a couple outfield drills. He's a very athletic kid, looks very natural and clean in the outfield. And then I showed up at the end of the Pacific tournament, and I said this on BBN After Dark. I heard 3 names the rest of the day. I heard Garrett Knight, I heard Georgie's name, and I heard this Jack Kester and how far he hit this ball. So I didn't clear the raw talents here with this kid.
Yeah, 100%. I thought he made a great first impression. And one thing that we mentioned on BBN After Dark is there were a ton of Bear coaches at this All-Bear tournament. So for him to put on a show like that in front of a bunch of different Bear coaches, I thought was a great first impression for him. And one more guy I wanted to talk about is from that 12U Burnstill little doubleheader they put on. Bernie, you had a chance to kind of see your guys in maybe a little more of a low-pressure situation for some rookies. And a guy that I thought really stood out to me, and I know from talking to you stood out to you, was Connor Kennedy. And I gotta say, when we were talking about the rookies for this team, I think Trey Vonderheide was a big name, Hunter Finley was a big name, but I thought this guy really caught my eye, Bernie. Give me your thoughts on Connor Kennedy and what you saw from him in his first 2 games with the Bears.
Yeah, so Sunday was my first time ever seeing Connor Kennedy, and he kind of just does everything you could possibly want as a coach. He's a great teammate. He's a funny guy. He's a great dugout presence. He can catch. He can pitch. He can play infield. He can play outfield. And then the one spot I thought he maybe be lacking was his bat. But he hit behind Harrison Blabaum's grand slam that he hit in the second game. He might have hit the second hardest hit ball of the day. I mean, he absolutely roped the double down the line. This kid plays hard. He goes hard in the bags. He'll dive for any ball. I mean, he just does everything right.
Yeah, I was really impressed by this guy, just the intensity that he was playing with all game long. And I think you could say that about several of our Bear rookies that we got to see for the first time. And if you do want to hear us talk more about rookies, again, check out that BBN After Dark show. We talk about guys like Trey Vonderheide, Hunter Finley, Carson Warner, and other guys in a lot of detail over on BBN After Dark. But let's go ahead and move right along. I'm very excited to kind of share some work I've been doing over the last couple weeks. One of the big things I think the Bears have been missing is a formal record book. Obviously, GM Rob keeps his own personal records, over the fence home runs, strikeouts, stuff like that. But I've been working really hard to kind of dig up our old game changers. And what I found is basically 2016 is the beginning of what I call the game changer premium era, is where we really have stats that go all the way back to 2016. So I made a little record book that has 90 records in it from 2016. So we have overall Bear records, we have youth records, high school records, and then we have the records for every single age level. So for example, Harrison Blabaum currently is in his 11-12 season. 11U spring, 12U fall. So how does Harrison compare to every single Bear who played their 11-12 season? I thought it was a very interesting exercise, and I'm excited to share some of this with you over the course of the next few weeks, and also look at these races. The reason I wanted to put together this now is to kind of track these records, and I found out that already 4 records have been broken for the Bears. We have 4 people who've put up performances we've never seen before. 3 of them are by Harrison Blabaum. Harrison Blabaum already, with 9 more weeks to go in his season, has already broken the 11-12U doubles record, the youth doubles record, and the single season Bears doubles record. He's got 39 doubles already this season, which breaks all 3 of those records. So what number is he going to end up with? I think that's going to be a very interesting storyline. And then Brendan Nickerson has broke the 16-18U home run record. And I will say one little notch in my record keeping is I'm only counting game changer home runs. So for example, I know Rob and his home run counter counts high school home runs, just so I can keep track of all the records on game changer. It's only game changer home runs, and inside the park home runs do count, because obviously I can't decipher those on the game changer records. So Brendan Nixon, though, has already broken on my record book the 16-18U home run record. So 4 records have already been broken. I went ahead and broke every single other record into 5 different ratings: A, B, C, D, and F. Basically, A are records I think will definitely get broken. B are records I think will probably get broken. C is maybe get broken. D is I doubt will get broken. And F is definitely not get broken. So of the 90 records, I found 23 that I think are probably going to get broken, and 21 that I think will possibly get broken. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. Let's start with the ratings, the records I gave B ratings. And Bernie, of all these records I gave B ratings to that I think will probably get broken, which do you think? Give me one that you think is most likely to be broken.
Yeah, my most likely one would be the 13-14 UKs. I'm going to take Lucas Velchek. He's at 60 right now. The record is 90. Velchek, if I would have told you after the first month of the season that Velchek would be in this spot, you would probably call me crazy. He had a very bad first month on the mound, at least for his standards. He only had 9 Ks in the month of April. He's at 51 in June and July, so I don't see any reason. I think he's the best strikeout pitcher in youth. I see no reason why he doesn't break this record.
Yeah, if we have no rainouts, he's got to average about 4 per weekend to break that record. I think that's definitely in his possibility, and I 100% agree with that one, Bernie. I'm going to go ahead and go with the high school ERA record. Tegan Kryler currently has a 0.58 ERA. The record is 1.71. The challenge for him is the innings pitched minimum is 50, so he's got to get a lot more innings on the mound. But if he does, I do think if he gets to that innings minimum, he will have an ERA below 1.71 and will break that record. So that'll be a very nice one to watch. Let's go ahead and move on to our records that I gave a C rating to or might get broken. That possibly could get broken. Bernie, which of these records with a C rating do you think will get broken this season?
Yeah. So I took the 15-16U RBI, which is Vince Dalton for this season. He currently has 32. The record was set by Brendan Nickerson. It's at 58 right now. We still got a full fall left. He's, 26 off right now. He plays on a very good team that's going to score a lot of runs. He did bat right in the heart of the order. A lot of really good hitters in front of him. I see no reason why Vince Dalton don't break this record.
Yeah, I think that's a great one, Bernie. One that I 100% agree with. Probably looking at this list, probably my most likely as well would be that Vince Dalton one. But another one I wanted to go ahead and throw out there is the 13-14U doubles record. It is currently at 30, and Lucas Wilburn has 19. And this is a guy who is a doubles machine. He's a guy who makes a ton of contact. He's fast, and he sprays gaps. I think he's a perfect doubles hitter. And as we move to 14U for this age, the fields only get bigger, and I think there's more room for Lucas Wilburn to get those doubles. So I think he's in a great position to break that record. But if you want to hear us talk a lot more in depth about all of these records, definitely tune in to BBN After Dark next week because we're definitely going to be diving into a ton of interesting stuff in these records. But that's going to do it for us here on the Bears Baseball Network. But before we leave you off, we got one more thing. You've been waiting for it. Our first debut of the fall season. It's Hackin Time.
Inside me, son of a god. I'm like a titan that's rising, no, just you watch. I'm stepping into fate, there is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me, this is how legends are made. Up on the throttle, victory is mine. Show you the harder the battle, harder I fight. I've come too far to quit. Step back, I'm going in. I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made. Like iron from the fire, getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made.
Nice rip, Landon. Good job, baby.